Hey guys, I'm here to give my review of episode 3 of Push Girls, which aired last week. This is just in time for episode 4, which airs tonight. Okay, in the beginning, I've noticed they do little snippets of what's going to happen later in the episode, and this one, gave snippets as it went, so I may repeat myself, so forgive me if I do. The first snippet we saw was Mia greeting her mother in her apartment. So her mom is going to be coming in for a visit. The last time Mia saw her mother in her life in LA was 3 years ago. And it switches to Tiffany and Mia talking about how it's hard for Mia to bring her mother into her life, and we find out exactly why later on in the episode when her mom arrives. We go to Angela talking about her husband Dustin, who she's separated with. She talks about how she met him prior to her accident and how he's never left her side ever since then, even though they're separated. She talks to him on Skype about her celebration of life party. It's her 10-year anniversary since the day of her accident, and I really like that she celebrates it because, as she says in the episode, she could have died and she didn't. A lot of people would roll over and hate their life after something like that happened, especially somebody as successful as her. She was a very successful model before the accident. Then Mia starts to talk about how her childhood wasn't ideal. Her parents were divorced, her mom was an alcoholic. And then we come to the point where Mia's mom pisses me off for the first time. Well, she really pissed me off in the coming attractions, but first time in the episode. It shows her mother telling her that what she went through was nothing. You don't tell somebody who lost feeling in half their body in the span of a day that what they went through is nothing. And then she has to live with it for the rest of her life. I mean, I know that I'm all about, striving to be positive and everything like that, but I would still, if I went through an injury, look at it like it was something traumatic that happened at one point in my life. And I understand as a parent it was hard for her mom, but to say that she had it harder, I can't even go there. Then Mia's mom claims, like any addict or alcoholic that I've noticed, that her drinking had no effect on Mia. Somebody using or drinking is going to have an effect on anybody around them, especially an impressionable young child. Then her mom gets on my nerves yet again. She says, not to her, but obviously she's going to say it, she says in her one-on-one interview that she actually wished death on Mia because she didn't know what her life was going to be like after the accident. When my parents got my diagnosis, when I was born, they promised me and themselves back then that they would strive to bring me up as normal as possible and for me to have a fulfilling life as much as possible. Not, oh, I wish you're gonna die, so, because I don't know what your life is gonna be like. No, you make your life what it's going to be like. Then Mia talks about how she has to be careful outside at night, conscious of her surroundings. And I feel like that is something that everybody has to be conscious about, not just because you have a chair getting out of the car. Especially in New York and LA where there's crazy drivers. She was meeting Tiffany for dinner, and they were talking about her mother, Mia's mother. Mia tells her how her mom keeps calling her and wants to come out for a visit, and it's just really stressing her out, like her mom, at that point at least, did. Her mom really, for years, stressed her out. Then she opens up and says that her mom is kind of, I guess you could say, in denial about the whole situation with Mia's paralysis, and she can't accept the situation. Mia also says that she's angry because her mom won't accept any responsibility for what she went through growing up with her drinking, and how she says that it had no effect on her. But she also says that she's ready now for her mom to come out for a visit because she's an adult and ready to try to have an adult relationship with her, even though she really wasn't there for her after the accident. Then we go to Angela, and she talks about how this year has been really tough on her with her separation, and how every day is a reminder of how disabled she is. And I hate that word. So I'm hoping that they see this video and change it, because I don't want that word on national TV. Angela is fully capable of doing anything she puts her mind to. Disabled means off. She does things just in a different way, so she's not turned off anywhere. Then she goes into a lot about her and Dustin, her separated husband, and, why they separated, and it had a lot to do with his career, and he had moved to Vietnam for it. And she just was saying how they look at you like you're evil. I don't know if it's over there that she meant or in general, but she didn't want, I guess, to put him through that. Then we go to the real scene of Mia's mother arriving. The first words out of the woman's mouth were, "What, you mean you're not walking yet?" She left me speechless through a lot of this. Mia chooses to embrace life, despite what happened to her. And that's the only way to live. Even if something tragic happens to you, if you're still breathing, your heart's still beating, you have to make the best of what you're given. And her mom just doesn't understand that. Her mom should have been the one to instill that in her, though. Then it was kind of funny because Mia goes to get into her stand frame thingy, and her mom asked if she needed any help, and she said no. I'm the same way. I do not like to accept help. If I can do it myself, I'll do it myself. And even if I can't, I'll try 100 times before I give up and accept help. Mia asks her mom if she remembers the last time that she saw her standing. And she says no, but I kind of think that's a lie. I think her mom tries to suppress a lot of Mia's past with walking because it's too painful to remember and look at her now. Which her mom needs to go to a support group or something. But then again, when my parents were put in touch with somebody who was supposed to be in my similar situation, all the woman did was cry. So it may just hurt more than help. Mia gets a muscle spasm in her leg and her mom tries to help her again, and she refuses to help. Her mom actually gets annoyed that Mia won't let her help. Wouldn't you be proud of your kid if they wanted to do it themselves and then succeeded? I mean, obviously she could do it on her own. She hasn't seen her mother in how long, so her mother wasn't around to help her. Then her mom starts to ask questions like, can she still move any of her toes and stuff like that? Just, I feel like trying to push the whole I want you to walk thing. Her mom was filmed in an Alone interview saying how she would think that Mia would want to walk. I've gotten that from somebody I used to be close with also. People just, they don't get it. They don't get that if it's your life, you make the best of it and you don't hate it just because you're not up walking. Then her mom gets a little bit pushy with, the progress they're making in research and stuff like that, and I've gotten the same thing from somebody that I used to be close with. And it's like, okay, shut up. Do you not accept me as I am? Mia says how her mom has a misconception about that you have to be walking to be happy in life. And I think that's what it comes down to. They don't understand. With this trip, Mia really wants to try to show her mom that even through obstacles, you can overcome them. She says how her accident was meant to happen, and she actually voices to her mother that she feels she doesn't get it. She doesn't get that Mia is happy. Then the two of them go out to lunch and are talking about her mom's drinking. And this made me annoyed but a little worried for her mother, because she started to say things like, how she remembered when her mom was drinking and stuff like that. And then her mom would automatically cut in with, but then I didn't drink for a year. And Mia called her on it. And she said, yeah, but you went back. Why? It's an excuse. And I kind of feel, like, don't quote me on it, but I kind of feel like maybe she's already back to it or is gonna fall again, because that's just not a healthy statement for somebody sober to make. It's an excuse. And I was proud of Mia at this point, because she was saying how her mom used to put it on her, saying she was too judgmental or any excuse when she was drinking. Then we see the real scene of her mom saying how she wished she would die after her accident because she didn't know what her life was going to be like. I still can't get over that she said that. Then she says how she hasn't been happy since Mia's accident, and how tough it was. That's like, never mind what Mia was going through. Hello? Mia opens up to her mom about the trust issues that her mom's drinking caused her to have. And her mom's like, that's ridiculous, you need to get over it. First thing the woman should have realized in recovery is your drinking is gonna affect everyone around you. And they don't have to just get over it. Then we go to Authy and Tiffany taking Chelsea out shopping for Angela's party. We learn a little bit more about Chelsea in this episode, She was in a car with a drunk driver. She was in the back on somebody's lap after a party in her senior year of high school, and has been paralyzed ever since. And she's still very young. She's only been paralyzed, I think, not even 2 years yet. The car was coming around a turn and went straight down and hit a tree. And her back kind of snapped in half. And I saw during one of the commercials how she's doing things about drunk driving, and I really like that. She's using her situation to help other people, hopefully. Then she talks about everything that the girls have taught her since she has known them, and when they were out shopping they all wheeled over a pothole, which I thought was really funny because I've had that experience. I try to avoid them. Chelsea says how she still feels like there's even more to learn from the girls, and I feel like it's that way for everybody. That's what life is. There's always more to learn about who you are. Tiffany talks about how depending on your paralysis, your feet can go all over, and I notice that with myself. Sometimes my feet will be in between the footrests or in the back of them, and her feet touch the floor. So sometimes when they fall off, they're grating the cement. The only time I've ever had my toes bleeding like hers were was when my best friend was wheeling me and we bashed into a piece of wood on the ramp. And it was funny because she actually asked me if it hurt, and I was laughing at her because I can't feel it. Authy surprises Chelsea by offering to buy her her first pair of high heels since her accident. And she says how she wished she had somebody like her or the girls right after she had her accident, so she really tries to be there for Chelsea. Tiffany talks about how important it is to have your first pair of high heels, especially for a young girl after her accident, because it makes her feel like a woman again. And as they were coming out of the store, I noticed, I'm not sure if they noticed, but there was 2 guys that were staring. My thing is, I like to think that they were staring at 3 hot girls coming out of the store, but I know that people stare because of the chair, and I kind of want them to get into that a little bit in a future episode, because it's something that happens in all of our lives, and we all deal with it differently. Then we go back to Mia and her mom, and they're going to get their nails done. Mia again says how the reason she let her mom come out is because she wants to let her see her life and see how well she's doing. She actually let her mom help her a little bit by grabbing a chair so she could transfer up 2 steps to get in. Me, I would have just caused a riot and been like, yeah, this place isn't accessible. I do that in the store all the time. Mia invites her mom out with the girls to kind of show her mom how good life is for her and the friendship that she gained with all the girls. And her mom first comments on how glamorous all the girls are, and I kind of feel like she thought Mia would deteriorate into this sloppy mess or something that, like, couldn't move and didn't take care of herself. Like all the misconceptions that Tiffany talked about in one of the previous episodes. Authy says how nervous she was to meet her mom, and this was in a one-on-one interview, because of all the things that Mia had told her about her mom, and I would be nervous too. I would just be nervous that I wouldn't be able to hold my tongue. I really feel like her mom did herself a disservice by being so afraid for her daughter for a while. Like, if she just looked at her daughter and looked at her accomplishments and how she's doing, I feel like she would have felt better a long time ago about the situation. her mom opens up to the girls about how after Mia moved away, she was afraid. She wasn't sure how she was going to manage. And I could see a parental instinct actually kicking in about that, but she's been moved away for a while. She should have, really looked at how well she's doing for herself. She says how, as a mom, she just didn't want her daughter to have a bad life, and it makes her feel better to see that she really doesn't have a bad life. She says how it seems like a very hard life, physically, to do everything that the girls can do, but it's their life now. They know different from their past, but they've adapted to what is their life now, and, it is what it is. You can't look, oh, it's so hard, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. You gotta deal with it. Bottom line. I was really proud of Mia's mom at the end of this episode, because she said how after talking with the girls, she forgot about their chairs entirely. And as I keep saying, that is what we strive for. Look at me, forget about the chair, get to know who I really am. And that's it. Now, I really hope she was joking at this part, but she says how she feels like her life is harder than Mia's. And that just brought flashbacks to when she said how her life is harder. So I really hope that part was a joke the second time she said it. And Tiffany says something that I've always lived by, which is, your life is what you make it. You could either choose to be miserable or choose to be happy. All of it is your choice. Mia says how much of an effect the girls had on her mom, and I really agree. I think she should have met them a long time ago. Mia says how she saw it immediately and she felt her energy change. And because she changed, then Mia felt herself relax and able to change. And I feel like really enjoy the visit. Then finally we go to Angela's celebration of life party, and she talks about, again, everything she's been through, and she concentrates on what she has and not what she doesn't have. And she says how it's a miracle she's even alive today, and that thought keeps her going. The next episode's on tonight. I will hopefully have a review done by tomorrow, now that I'm back on track. I also forgot, subscribe to this channel if you like this video. I do other videos besides this, which hopefully I will be doing another one besides the review tomorrow.